Hi yogis, Katie Gassaway here at Body and Shine Wellness in Elgin, Texas. Today we are doing a twist and strength flow. You may want to have a block and a blanket available. Otherwise, let's just grab your mat and we'll get started. Let's go ahead and start in a comfortable seat today. So you're welcome to sit on your block or your blanket if you'd like to elevate your hips. Otherwise, right on your booty is perfectly fine. Start by relaxing your shoulders, sitting up tall through the crown of your head, and close your eyes. And begin to soften the muscles through your forehead, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, all the way down to your hips, your hands, your feet. Start to notice your breath. Each inhale, tracing it from the crown of your head all the way down to the base of your hips. Each exhale, emptying out from the ground all the way back up. Every breath in, let it be a reminder to stay present, focused, right here, right now. Every breath out, letting go of any distractions, expectations, or plans. As you move on your mat today, remember that our practice is more than just physical. It's about using this time to draw your attention inwards, to connect to your breath, your head, your heart, in this moment in time. With that in mind, take another big, full, deep belly breath in. And exhale, let it go. You can choose to keep your eyes closed a little longer, or when you're ready, begin to gently flutter them open. Either way, start by tucking your chin down to your chest. Rock your right ear over to your right shoulder and go around in a big, gentle circle. And feel free to pause and breathe in any tight or tender spots. You can keep circling around to your right side, or once your right ear gets back to your right shoulder, pause and breathe in that direction. If you want a little more stretch, gently apply pressure with your right hand to your head, pulling your ear softly towards your shoulder. To bring the stretch more into the lower neck, upper shoulder, extending your left arm out to the side. You can always combine any of these options that you want. Finally, tucking your chin more towards your collarbone will bring the stretch more into these muscles in the back of your neck. So just take a couple more breaths to find what suits you best today. Wherever you are, one more full breath in. And full breath out. Start to drop your chin back towards your chest. Hands back to your lap if you moved them. And then we'll switch sides, going left ear to left shoulder. Gentle circle all the way around. Again, pausing, breathing as needed. If you kept circling on the other side, go ahead and repeat that here. Otherwise, again, pausing, left ear to left side, maybe applying gentle pressure with your hand to the side of your head. Maybe extending your right arm out or tucking your chin down. Again, just breathing wherever you are. And as we move into our twist today, with anything that we're doing, try to let your breath help you deepen. So using those exhales to sink a little deeper into your body. Take one more breath in. And then slowly dropping your chin back to your chest, hands back to your lap, pausing for a moment at neutral. Roll your shoulders up by your ears, and then squeeze your shoulder blades down your back, sending your heart a little forward. Keep going with at least a few of those big shoulder rolls. And remember, if we have an injured shoulder, you could always just skip one side and roll one shoulder, or if you just want to do lightly on the other side, you can alternate and make those adjustments. And once you've warmed up your upper back, moving into seated cat, hands on your knees, curl around, arch your ribs back behind you, tuck your chin to your chest. And then moving into seated cow, send your belly, your heart forward, expanding through your chest and throat, looking slightly up. Keep going with a few cats, a few cows. That back and forth motion of the spine, especially if you're just starting your day, you want to take time. And once you feel ready and you'd like to change up those movements, start with anything else you want. We're going to do a seated twist here in a second since we are focusing on twists today, but you might just roll your ribs around for a second. You might stretch your arms overhead, do a little chest expansion, side body stretch, maybe a forward fold, whatever it is you feel like you could use. And remember, since you have the luxury of pausing this whenever you want to, you can always pause, take some extra time here. The warm-up is just as crucial as any other part of the practice. So feel free to pause here, spend a little extra time if you need to. Otherwise, coming back to center, we're gonna take a seated twist, So reaching your left arm up, take a big breath in, and exhale, starting to extend it over towards your opposite knee. Sorry about the mic there. Using your right hand back behind you as a little fulcrum. Inhale, sitting up tall, and exhale, deepening the twist from your chest and shoulders. Peeking back over your right shoulder slightly if you like to stretch your neck. Good, one more breath in. And exhale, unwinding back to center. Switching sides, inhale, reach your right arm up, sit tall, and then exhale, taking it across to your left knee or thigh. This time, left hand plants behind you. And practicing good habits now with your twist. So as you inhale, thinking more space and lift through your spine. As you exhale, that's when you twist. So use your breath to help you make room in your body. Again, maybe peeking gently over the left shoulder as you breathe. We'll take one more inhale. And exhale, slowly coming back to center. Then coming into your downward facing dog when you're ready. So making your way to the top edge of your mat with your hands about shoulder width distance apart. Feet back behind you about hip width distance, starting to lift your knees up and activating the lower half of your body. Maybe you bend one knee, press the opposite heel to the ground, shake your hips a little side to side, stretch your feet. Make sure you're using your entire hand to press into your mat, not just resting in your wrists or the base of your palm. Relax your head and neck between your arms. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Your next inhale, look forward. As you exhale, start to walk your way up to the top of your mat for ragdoll. Feet at least hip width distance apart. Generously bend your knees. Let your head and neck relax. Your arms might just dangle. You could grab opposite elbows or interlace your hands behind your head. If you want a little extra movement, you can sway side to side. Shake your head yes and no. Wiggle the weight around in your feet. Anything else that feels good for another couple breaths. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, release your hands if you haven't already. Start to shimmy your feet to a comfortable standing distance. And then as you inhale, rise slow and controlled all the way up to stand. Once your head is over your heart, we'll bring our hands to heart center and close your eyes. And take this opportunity to set an intention or a purpose for your practice today. So a popular one with twists is the idea of kind of wringing yourself out, detoxing, letting go of old energy, clearing way for something new. Whatever your intention for your practice is to keep you grounded and focused. Take a big full deep breath in, seal it in your heart. And exhale, let it go. We'll take one more breath in together. And exhale, let it out. Begin to flutter your eyes open. Inhale, mountain pose. Arms come up overhead. If you want to move out your mountain again, especially if it's early in your day, this is the first thing you're doing, you might want to pop your toes, bend your knees, kind of relax your shoulders, move around a little bit, whatever you need to do to settle into your space. And start to notice where the weight is in your feet. Unclench your toes, unlock your knees, hug your belly in and up, squeeze your shoulders down and back, and then activate all the way through the tips of your fingers. Take a big full deep breath in, and exhale, forward fold. Start to hinge from your hips, lead with your heart. Let your head and neck relax at the bottom. Bend your knees, soften your neck. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Long, strong back, squeezing your shoulders away from your ears, send the crown of your head forward. Shift the weight over to the balls of your feet. So rather than resting back in your heels, let your hamstrings stretch a little bit. Take one more inhale. Exhale, high plank. Plant your hands, step back, top of a push-up pose. Pausing and breathing here. Lots of short tutorials on different plank variations, different chaturanga variations. Remember, we can always come down to our knees. We're, again, using the entirety of our palm, so gripping all the way through those fingers. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, slow, control, lower from wherever you are all the way down to your belly. Once you're down there, we're going to add in an inner shoulder stretch. Take your right arm out to a T. Palm can face up or down. Doesn't matter, up to you. Well, it does matter, but do what feels right to you, okay? Make it intentional. And then keeping your hand at shoulder height, start to gently roll over onto your right side. This left leg could kick up and around behind you if the hip flexor is okay with that. But if the hips are a little tight today, there's definitely no harm in resting it on top or even in front of your right leg. So the priority is stretching into the front of the chest and shoulder. This will help us with our twists later on. And there's a video tutorial on this as well if you look for it, inner shoulder stretch. One more breath in. And exhale, slowly coming back to center. Once you're securely down on your mat, switching sides, left arm out to a T, palm up or down, whatever you did on the other side, and gently rolling to your left. And this right hand can stay on the floor to help support you, or if you want a little more stretch, starting to loop it around, maybe your low back, maybe you hold your other hand if you've seen that variation in the other videos. But again, we're still pretty early in our practice, so not forcing anything to happen here. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. Take 2 more deep breaths. With each exhale, feel like your left shoulder is melting a little bit more to the floor. And then after that second exhale, rolling softly back to center. Place both hands by your chest. Come back to your toes, either pressing straight up to your high plank, or you can come to all fours first. And then exhale, downward facing dog, sending your hips up and back. Take a big breath in. And a full breath out. Then inhale, look towards your hands. As you exhale, step or hop up to the top of your mat, as many steps as you need. Once you're there, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach up tall, arms extend overhead. This time we're going to add in an open twist. Exhale, reach your right arm back behind you, left arm in front of you, pause and breathe. So this is just like what we did on our bellies already, but now we're standing. So gravity isn't quite to our advantage, but still opening up through the chest and collarbones. You could look back towards your right hand if you want a little more neck stretch. Inhale, coming back up to center, slow, controlled. And then exhale to the other side, reaching your left arm back, right arm forward. Again, maybe peeking slightly behind you. Just like with our seated twist, inhale, find space. Exhale, deepen. And inhale, coming back up to your mountain. Control and steady with your breath. Exhale, forward fold, making your way down. Inhale, lift halfway, long, strong back. Exhale, chaturanga if you're ready for it. So remember, stepping our way back, shift forward, lower down, halfway stop. Flip to the tops of your feet, inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. And there's lots of videos on different alternatives for that if you haven't seen them yet. Take a big breath in, and a full breath out. Last time through, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Rising up, feel your breath, fill your lungs. Exhale, forward fold, melt your chest towards your shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. So just throwing it in there. This is what you do on your knees. Keep your booty just as stable as you would. Press into the tops of your feet. Inhale, up dog, knees come off the floor. Exhale, down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, inhale, lift your right leg high, pause and breathe. Sink your left heel a little lower to the floor, stretch your hamstring. Press into your hands evenly, right hand just as much as the left. One more inhale. Exhale, low lunge, sweep it all the way through. Left hand stays down, either on the ground or grab your block. Use it to help elevate you. Inhale, open twist. Lift the right arm up, stretch through your chest and shoulders. So seeing these common themes of opening up from your heart first rather than into your hips. So my hip might drop a little bit. I might feel some sensation in my hip flexor, but really trying to open up from my chest first, maybe peeking towards that arm that's lifted. Last breath in and exhale. Back to the low lunge. If you use the block, go ahead and set it out of the way. Inhale, crescent lunge, coming all the way up. Shoulders over hips, arms overhead, pause and breathe here. From here, taking one more inhale. And this time, exhale, coming to a chair with airplane arms. So stepping your left foot up to meet your right, sinking into your hips low. Squeeze your shoulder blades down your back, lift through your chest. Inhale, chair. Arms come up overhead to frame your face. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And remember, with chair, there's lots of variations we can take. Separating the feet and knees, hip width distance apart if we need some more space. Just make sure your knees and toes point the same direction. Also, if our low back is tender, make sure your tail is kinked down, not pointing out behind you. So letting your low back have some more space. Also the option to bend the arms, goalpost or scarecrow arms, if your shoulders are tight. Stay just like you are through your lower half. Take a breath in. Exhale, open twist like you did in mountain. Reaching this right arm back, left arm forward. Look down at your knees. If your left knee starts to jut forward, pull your left hip back to center. Sink into your glutes. Activate through your hips. Let the twist come from your chest and shoulders, even if that means you don't twist as far. Now look down at your right toes, a little bit in front of them for balance. Step your left leg back to a crescent lunge open twist. Nice. Maybe peeking slightly over your right shoulder for a little bit more stretch to the neck. Inhale, exalted warrior, reaching up through your left hand. This time, feeling that stretch all the way through the left hip flexor. Maybe looking a little up as you lift through your chest. One more breath in. And exhale, chaturanga, cartwheeling your hands down. Remember, we can always skip chaturanga, step back to your high plank, hold it, and then go back to down dog. Breathe in, and breathe out. This time, inhale, lift your left leg high. Sink that right heel a little closer to the mat. Press just as much into your left arm as your right, using your core, your shoulder strength. One more inhale. Exhale, low lunge, sweep it softly through. Again, right hand may want to come to a block. Start to open twist. As you inhale, reaching the left arm high, maybe peeking towards your left hand, extending all the way through your fingers, like you're stacking your collarbones in a vertical line. Opening up through your chest, one more breath in. And exhale, back to your low lunge. Hug your inner thighs to center. Inhale, crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Slow, controlled, steady. Press into the ball of your right foot. so that your hips are squared forward. Ready for that transition into your chair. Relax your shoulders. One more inhale. As you exhale, hips stay straight ahead. Step into that chair pose with airplane arms. Sit into your booty. Squeeze your shoulders down your back. Change the tilt of your tail, the space of your feet as you need to. Make sure that your glutes and your quads are doing the work, not your knees, not your ankles, not your low back. Keeping the lower half the same, inhale to chair, arms frame your face. Again, softening the elbows if you need to. Holding steady, squeeze your inner thighs together. If you have trouble with this, you might even take your block, squeeze that block between your inner thighs, keeping your hips just like that, open twist. So with that block there, it's gonna be pretty obvious if you start to swivel your hips, right? So that block stays straight, square it ahead, as you take the left arm back, right arm forward. Now you're gonna have to remove the block for this next part if you used one, but keeping that invisible block there, start to look down in front of your left foot, breathe in. Exhale, crescent lunge, open twist. If that right foot doesn't step back where you meant it to, just take a few more steps, not a big deal. Keep pulling the right hip back, just like we did in the chair twist. Then inhale, exalted warrior, left hand reaches back, down towards your thigh. Right arm reaches up and back, lifting from your sternum, your chest, your heart. Maybe looking slightly up, breathe in. And exhale, chaturanga, unwinding your way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Starting to flow, breath to movement. Remember, you can always pause the video, slow it down, take a break, whatever you need to do at your own pace. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, land it softly between your feet. Plant your left hand down on the ground or on your block. Inhale, open twist, extend your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, back to your low lunge. Hug your inner thighs to center. Inhale, crescent lunge. Left hip stays level with your right. Exhale, chair, airplane arms. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Sink your hips low. Inhale, chair. Booty goes even lower. Arms frame your face. Exhale, open twist. Send your right arm back, left arm ahead. Pull your left hip back to center. Look down in front of you for a little bit more balance. Exhale, crescent lunge. Open twist, stepping back. Inhale, exalted warrior. Extending up and back, lifting from your heart. And then exhale, chaturanga, making your way down. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Inhale, up dog if you're taking it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, land it lightly. Right hand stays down. Inhale, open twist, extend through your left arm. Exhale, back to your lunge. Hug your inner thighs to center. Inhale, crescent lunge, come up, strong and steady. Exhale, chair, airplane arms. Sink into your heels, relax your toes. Inhale, chair, arms sweep up, bend your elbows if you need to. Pull the right hip back to center. Exhale, open twist. Inhale, look down for balance. Exhale, crescent lunge, open twist. Step your right foot back as many steps as you need. Inhale, exalted warrior. Maintain the twist as you reach up and back through your right palm. Exhale, chaturanga. Make your way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Adding in a little bit of challenge this time through, we will do some balance poses. So you might want to have the block towards the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, land it softly down. Left hand stays down. Inhale, open twist, right arm lifts. Exhale, back to your lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, coming all the way up. arms frame your face. Exhale, airplane, launching onto your right leg, hips face the floor, arms by your side. Take a breath in. As you exhale, soften your right knee, gently land your left foot back down behind you. Once both feet are on the ground, inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, chair, airplane arms. Step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, chair pose. This time, exhale, hands to your heart. Sink your hips a little bit lower, and then start to twist your left elbow outside your right thigh. Again, glance down at your knees, pull your left hip back to center, roll your right shoulder down away from your ear. Try to sink your hips lower than your heart. Again, looking down for balance, take a breath in. As you exhale, start to step your left leg back into a revolve crescent lunge. We can always come down to our back knee here if we need a little bit more balance support. Holding and breathing, keep deepening into that twist. Now, challenge moment here for those who want it. You can start to interlace your right arm around behind you. I cannot do it on this side because of the mic pack, okay, but I'll do it on the other side. Creeping your hands together to touch, maybe lifting that left leg back off the ground again. Keep deepening into your twist. Good, holding and breathing. There's a short tutorial on this one if you want to try it. Now, those of us trying the bind, unlacing it back to your crescent lunge. Woo, untwisting, take as much time as you need. And this time, warrior two, letting those hips open as you sink into your lunge. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out, arms up. And exhale, wide-legged forward fold. You guys know that I don't like to do that facing away from the camera for probably obvious reasons. All right, so I'm gonna flip around. And in your wide-legged fold today, focus on bringing the weight more into the top half of your foot, like the ball of your foot, rather than resting in your heels, so that you feel an active stretch in your hamstrings. You might even reach your arms through the center of your legs, if we can go that far. If we can't, don't get discouraged. Just be patient where you are. Slow down your breath. And slowly starting to come back to center. I'm going to flip back around so that we're all facing the same direction. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, low lunge. Pivot your feet forward once again. When you step your right leg back, you can either step it directly to a high plank or strength moment. See if you can float that leg out behind you. Chest level, hips level, 4, 3, 2, breathing, and chaturanga with that ekapada leg. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. This time, inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, take it all the way through to the top. Right hand stays down. Inhale, open twist, stretch and expand through your chest. Exhale, back to your low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, coming all the way up. Arms frame your face. This time, exhale again, adding in that airplane. Lifting and engaging through this right leg really, really actively. Also up through your heart, shoulders down away from your ears. One more breath in. Exhale, soften your left knee, land your right foot down. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, chair, airplane arms. Inhale, chair, arms frame your face. Remember that change. Exhale, hands together at prayer. Sit your hip a little bit lower and then start to twist. Right elbow across this time to the outer left thigh. Sitting your booty low, pull your right hip back to center. Keep breathing into that twist. Remember, deepening on the exhale, relax your left shoulder down. Look down in front of your left foot for balance. Take a breath in. Exhale, step that right leg back behind you. Again, it might be more than one step. If you do want to try the bind, or you need a little bit more balance support, blanket under the back knee if you need it. Deepen into your twist for the bind. There's a short tutorial on it, but you're gonna try to pass your left arm around behind you, right arm underneath you, capture those fingers, and then press into the ball of your left foot. Right foot. Lifting that right knee off the floor. Roll your left shoulder down your back, just a couple more breaths. And slowly unlace that twist. Very controlled. Woo. Back up to your crescent lunge, I feel it too. And then exhale, warrior two. Finally, those hips get to open the other direction. Let them have some space to breathe. Fire up your arms. Inhale, star pose. Take up space, get big, tall, strong. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. This time freestyle, whatever works for you. Just make sure that you are getting some stretch in your hips, your hamstrings. If you like the twisting that we're doing today, you might plant one hand down, twist through the other arm, or you could also twist to one side, taking hand to one side of the legs, letting your chest, your upper back stretch one direction, and slowly to the other. Whatever you're doing, we've got about 3 more breaths in and out. Again, you can always pause or slow it down. Coming back to center, find a halfway lift, and exhale to your low lunge. Again, option to step back to a regular high plank or plank on your knees. Otherwise, floating that left leg behind you for 4, 3, level chest, level hips, 2, breathing, and Ekapada Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Oh, my mic cord came undone. All right, big breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and have a seat. We're gonna do a little bit of belly up core before we get to some more fun stuff. I'm gonna fix my mic pack and we'll get started in a second. All right, so now that we've had a little bit of a break, if you haven't already, take a break, grab your water, but we're gonna do a little bit of belly up core to warm us up for side crow and crow, which are our arm balances today. I told you it was gonna be twisting and strength, right? So we gotta get our strength in. So come on down to your back. And we are gonna start with some rope climbers. So if you haven't done these with me before, you're gonna take your legs up the invisible wall, feet face the ceiling, and then you're gonna, just like you're climbing a rope, you're gonna lift one shoulder blade up, so it's a little bit of a twist, other shoulder blade over. Keep your feet active, your inner thighs active, and really reach those shoulder blades off the mat. Hips stay level. Mine aren't exactly staying level today because I've got a knot in the back of my shirt, but as much as you can, hips stay level. Reaching, climbing that rope for 4, feet active, 3. So strong yogis, 2. And 1, quick long body stretch, knees to chest, or whatever else it is that you need. From here, we're gonna do one of my favorite oblique exercises because it's so effective, it doesn't take very long to feel it. And if you wanna do more core, I get a lot of requests for core stuff, you know that you can pause this video and keep going with whatever exercise I give you. So if you wanna double up those rope climbers, you can just pause, do another minute or so on your own, whatever you need to do, come back to it, you can move on to the next thing, okay? So always the option to pause and do extra credit. For the next one, shins parallel to the floor, knees over your hips. Place your left hand on top of your thigh. Your right hand comes back behind you on your head. The more you press your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand, the more resistance you create, the harder these will be. Extend your right leg long, maybe pulsing it up and down, it's up to you, but don't let it rest on the ground. Then you're gonna take your right shoulder over to your left side. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. From the shoulder, not just the elbow, finding as much resistance as you can manage for 4. at your own pace. 3, just counting for time. 2, good, and last one, finish it out. Switch sides, this time right hand on the right thigh, left leg long, left shoulder going towards your right knee for 6, 5, 4, 3, final 2, last one, best one, knees to chest, long body stretch, whatever else you want to do. Then from here, you're gonna rock and roll your way up to a seat, and we're gonna come into crow pose to warm up for side crow, okay? So if arm balances and inversions are not your thing, totally understandable, especially if you have wrist, elbow, or shoulder injuries, you're welcome to do a yogi squat instead. So if you wanna hang out in a yogi squat today, more than welcome to do that. And then when we do side crow, you can just either add in a little twist, or I'll show you another twist we can do if you don't want to be on your arms today, okay? So this is your opt-out if you want it. Otherwise, for crow pose, you're gonna place your hands shoulder width distance apart on the mat. We've got several tutorials, I think, for crow as well. Starting to lift your hips up, walk your feet in towards your hands, bend your elbows, look ahead, start to lift some of the weight out of your feet and put it into your hands. You may eventually lift the feet off the floor. Okay, if we're pretty familiar with crow, maybe starting to practice straightening through the arms a little bit more. All right, so again, this is an awesome opportunity for you to pause the video, try it a few more times on your own, spend as much or as little time as you want. Big things to think about. Number 1, looking forward. If you're afraid of falling, place a sofa cushion or a pillow from your bed underneath your face. The other thing is we don't want to jump our way into it, right? So don't think of lifting from the floor or from your feet. Think of lifting from your tail and your core. Like there's something pulling you up to the ceiling rather than jumping forward, because that's a really good way, again, to kind of land on your face. So give crow a few shots. See how it goes. Like I mentioned, there's a tutorial just on crow, so if you want to go look up that video and try that. Otherwise, moving on to side crow when you're ready. So don't wear out your wrists playing with crow, because you're going to get an opportunity to do crow with a twist. So for side crow, if you don't want to do it, again, yogi squat with a twist, or we're going to find that twisting motion almost like in that prayer twist, that chair twist we did, where our hands are like this, except this time our butt is really down close to our heels, finding a little bit of balance here as well. For side crow, again, we've got a tutorial this month on it, so you can go check that out. Hands, just like crow, shoulder width distance apart, fingers wide. The arms still bend, just like crow, but it's a little bit different because both elbows don't necessarily have to come in contact with your leg. So in regular crow, each arm is supporting a leg. Not necessarily the case with side crow. For sure, the elbow that's behind your front knee is definitely on your leg. This back elbow may or may not be. So if we have a little more upper body strength, but we're maybe not quite as twisty, we might just use the one elbow to help support us, okay? The other option, if we're a little more twisty, but maybe not quite so upper body strong, or we just need a little extra balance support, both elbows, so right in front of your hip, will help support your body weight, okay? So that's just lifting up into side crow. So try that. You might try one or both approaches with your elbows versus using one versus two, okay? There is that other short tutorial that goes through a little bit more in depth what that side crow experience is like, different tips, but this is what we worked up to today in our flow. So again, pausing the video, going to visit the tutorial if you need to, but you're nice and warm for side crow, so we want to take the opportunity to play with it if you're interested in playing with it, okay? So just to give you a little sample on the other side, again, letting your twist really deep first. If the hands don't make it to the floor, if we're all the way up here and we're just not quite at the floor yet, it doesn't mean that we can't do it. It just means you need to really work on twisting first, okay? So just being where you're at today, don't force anything to happen. Bending the elbows, looking ahead. One or both elbows are resting on your leg, but for sure the one that's behind your knee is. Looking forward, just like crow. So everything in the upper half is just like crow. And then again, not jumping, not pouncing your way into it, letting your core lift you from your hips first. Okay, and again, using the whole hand. So we always want to protect our wrists, use the whole hand to help balance you. Cool? So I hope that you have fun with side crow. Again, pause it, go to the other video if you need to. Otherwise, we're gonna start to wind down a little bit. So finding a comfortable seat, just stretch your wrists, arms come out in front of you, thumbs down, palms out. Cross one arm on top of the other, interlace your fingers, roll in and roll out. Doing a few more at your own pace. And once you've done a few with one arm on top, you're just gonna switch. Do a few more with the other arm on top. If you have another wrist stretch you like better, you're certainly welcome to do a different wrist stretch, but just make sure you do take care of your joints. And then to roll out those shoulders after those arm balances, just do a few more shoulder rolls here. Might get a nice little snap, crackle, pop. Then we're just gonna do one more twist since we are nice and warm. So this one's called Half Floor to the Fishes. It's our other short tutorial for this month. About half the time I teach it, I call it Half Floor to the Flies. I always think of that book. But anyway, it's Half Floor to the Fishes. So you're gonna cross your right leg on top of your left leg. So your left leg is gonna be bent to where your heel is about towards your hip, your opposite hip. And then this leg is gonna come over with the knee as much towards the sky as we can. Now, the goal is to have your hips comfortably on the ground. So if that's not happening, option one, elevate your hips on a block, and you can try this again with the legs. Or if you don't wanna bother with a block today, just take this left shin, your left foot, place it in front, or excuse me, right foot and place it in front of your left shin. Sorry guys. So your right foot is on the ground in front of your left shin. Okay, clear. Reaching your left arm up, stretch through your chest. Exhale, twisting, deepening. If the elbow does not want to hook over the thigh, especially if you have a shoulder issue, just use your hand outside your shin. And again, all these variations we will cover in that video tutorial. So on this first side, I'm showing you kind of the medium level and the little less twisty level, less hip stretch level. And I'll show you the other option on the other side, a little bit more twisty option. Unwinding your way back to center. If you want to be adventurous with this transition, you can do the corkscrew, okay? So you place your hands to your side, lift your hips up, you walk all the way around in a circle, all the way, and then you sit back down. You have to go all the way around or else you end up facing backwards, okay? So if you end up facing away from your monitor or your screen, we didn't go quite far enough. So this time, our left leg is on top, our right leg is the base, and again, you want your right hip and your left hip evenly on the floor. So easier, less twisty option is to bring that foot over. If you want to do the more twisty option on this side, we're going to start with our regular half floor to the fishes. Hooking that right elbow over, maybe peeking over your left shoulder. Got a little something on me there. If you want to find the bind, you're going to start to loop your right hand in between that space between your legs. Take your left arm around behind you and capture your fingers. Sit back up tall once you find that bind, and then maybe peek again over your back shoulder. Keep rooting into your hips, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, deepening the twist. And again, there's a short tutorial that goes over that a little bit slower. If you want to go look it up, when you're ready to come out, undoing that bind, coming back to center. Really nice, guys. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Soften your knees, or you could even use your block if you want a little bit more supported forward fold. After all that twisting, just letting your spine relax. You might gently rock side to side. Paschimottanasana. And just slow down your breath. relax the back of your neck. Slowly coming back up to center when you're ready. Again, sliding that block out from you if you used it. Making your way down to your mat if you want one last little bit of core. Arms stay long, legs stay long. Go slow and controlled. Otherwise, just laying down however you choose to get there. If you need to undo your hair, whatever you need to do to get comfortable on your back. We're coming into Happy Baby next. And today for Happy Baby, I'd like you to at least start by keeping your low back and your pelvis as much on the ground as you can. So just letting your back kind of decompress a little bit first, grabbing outside edges of your feet or your shins or your thighs, and kind of pressing your sacrum or your tail down into the ground. You might rock and roll a little bit, but avoid the temptation to like lift up through the bottom half of your spine. Just let your back really ground and flatten. And after a few breaths of that, if you want to get more adventurous, find a little more movement, you can. Otherwise, just letting your back be neutral. And then once you've been the happiest little yogi you can be, bring your knees to center, hug them in, give yourself a great big squeeze of gratitude. Thank yourself for your practice. Inhale. Exhale, Shavasana. Let your arms and legs find a comfortable resting place. Use any props you want to use today. And tuck your shoulders. Change the tilt of your tail. If your low back's a little sensitive, you can always bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, let your knees knock together at center. Just use this time of your day to be still, physically, mentally, emotionally. Just finding a baseline for everything. Allowing yourself some peace, some quiet, to just be, no expectations. your joints. Seal your practice with whatever you need, whether that's a long body stretch, knees to your chest, or something else. At your own pace, rock gently to your favorite side. Take this opportunity to leave behind anything else you want to let go of today. Thank yourself for your practice. Acknowledge your strength both inside and out. And as you're ready, make your way up to a comfortable seat. Once you're there, close your eyes. Let your hands rest on your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. And finish with 3 deep breaths together. Take a big breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, feel your strength. Exhale, let go of any doubts. Inhale, take in all the love around you. Exhale, send your love right back out. Bring your hands together at your heart. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to practice. The highest and brightest in me honors the highest and brightest in you. As we bring our hands to third eye center and bow forward to one another. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me today for a little bit of yoga. I hope you enjoyed getting twisty and practicing some arm balances. If you have any requests for the next round of videos, let me know. Otherwise, again, we have short tutorials for a few of those twists for this month. We will have others for next month, so just stay tuned to see what we've got in store for July. Thank you guys so much, and I hope to practice with you soon. Namaste.